Hey folks, Jimmy from Superpath here today with Andrew Copperwas from Kibo Commerce. Andrew, how are you?
I'm great, Jimmy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. We appreciate it. Always just great opportunity for our folks to just get kind of more context about some of the companies and roles on the job board. So you're the VP of Marketing at Kibo. Could you just kind of give us maybe first kind of zoom out, like who is Kibo? What is Kibo? Like what do you guys do? And then maybe talk a little bit about kind of like marketing more broadly there.
Yeah, no problem. I hear some screaming.
Yeah,
in the
I apologize. I
background.
apologize.
No, that goes. Man. 6 months old. So dealing with all sorts of stuff, like everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kibo. Who is Kibo? That is a common question. We are been around now for about 6 or 7 years. We have actually a pretty large presence, but because we're somewhat new, meaning only been around from a brand perspective for 6 or 7 years, we're not as known in the space. That's because we've been the result of a few acquisitions. So Kibo itself plays in the commerce space. More specifically, we have products around personalization, order management, and e-commerce. So if you think about it from the personalization side, that product basically, when you go onto a website, we look at context on the visitors that are on the website about you to better personalize and organize how websites are delivered. E-commerce, I think everybody understands how e-commerce works, but powering the back end of retailers' platforms to both buy online as well as connecting it to in-store. And then order management is that kind of connection to the store, right? So order management is basically everything past when an order is placed, how to get that to your house.
Got it.
So when you combine it all together, it's really an end-to-end commerce platform that helps better personalize and deliver the right content, the right message to people so that they can then get what they want at the right place at the right time. So the order management piece is important because if you buy something online, you might want to pick it up in store. You might want to, as a retailer, if you have inventory in one place, send it to another place to better deliver that personalized experience to everyone.
Got it. That's really cool. Do you are you able to say to the customers that Kibo works with? I mean, it sounds like a product for larger retailers. Is that fair to say?
So mid-market to enterprise.
Okay.
I should also say that for those that have been in the space for a little bit, the acquisitions from personalization were Monetate and Certona, two leaders in the Gartner Magic Quadrant at the time. E-commerce is Market Live, which used to be a leader in e-commerce years ago, one of the original acquisition targets, as well as Shopatron. So some of our bigger clients, we have Adidas, Reebok, oh man, now the other names are escaping me. But then we also have more mid-market customers. So we just did a case study with a company called Darn Tough Socks.
Oh, I just bought a pair of those socks recently.
There you go.
They're really good socks. Yeah.
My personalized experience.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, very cool. Very cool. And so you're looking to add someone to the content team. Can you talk a little bit about like what is the makeup of the marketing team and the content team?
So marketing at Kibo includes the SDR BDR team. So I think that's important to talk about.
That's cool. I like that.
It is. It's different. It's not so different, but I think it's a trend that we're seeing more and more with the conversion of what ABM really is doing. I think it's really important to have those folks on your team. But that's to say that we have a slightly larger team. Well, when I say we have 20 people, half of them are SDRs. So of the marketing non-SDR function, we have functional leaders in demand generation, campaign management. We have 2 product marketing folks. We have a marketing ops person. We're hiring for a couple other roles. We have a partner marketing person. And then we have 1 content marketing role. So content marketing role specifically reports to me. The kind of cool thing or exciting thing in my mind about it is this is not some new role. We're not justifying and trying to figure out how content marketing works. Jimmy, I was just telling you how I actually got the recommendation for Superpath from our former head of content marketing who left for bigger and better things recently. But that's to say that he did a great job really building out the content marketing program. So that's not to say there isn't room for improvement. There's always optimization that's needed. But this person really comes into a situation where the CEO is on my case every day about where's the new content marketer. People know across the company, and they recognize the work that's been done, and the value that content really holds at Kibo.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, when you think about this role, are you imagining someone then that's going to come in and focus primarily on like growing search traffic? Is it more of like a thought leadership-y or kind of brand play, or some mix of those and other things?
It's a mix of a couple of different things. So I think of them as, it's necessary that they have to understand marketing from every function, because inevitably, I just talked about the team, there's only one or two people in each function. So we need somebody who is a strong T-shaped marketer, where they really own content, but get how that connects to demand gen. They get how that connects to product marketing. But when it comes down to it, we have 3 content writers that we contract on a monthly basis, open for more resources. This person isn't expected to be writing everything, right? By any means, they're expected to be the editor, right? And they will align with the other teams on what are our themes, what are our strategies around content, and how do we then align that to what we're doing for the bigger goal. So it's a combination of content, of thought leadership. It's a combination of growing and working with our SEO contractor as well to grow our organic traffic. It's a combination of all those things and how they work together.
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm really glad that you mentioned that some contractors or other vendors that are involved, because that's a key thing. I know that folks are looking for, as you know,
resources is important.
Yeah, totally. Like, you kind of want to know going in, I've got resources. I'm not doing this all myself, and I'm not going to just like from day one be fighting for resources I need to get kind of basic things done. So that's great. You've got that stuff in place.
Yeah. The other interesting thing, sorry to interrupt, is it isn't required for this role, but for someone who has the experience or is looking to grow their experience, we have a PR agency that I manage, but the former head of content managed them before.
Oh, that's cool.
He left. So for those that are, from a career perspective, looking to take that on and are interested in that, that's completely on the table as well. That's
really cool. Really cool. I'm actually, just for folks watching this, I'm working on an article right now for our Superpath blog about vendor management, what an important skill it is, and kind of going through some tips for developing that skill. Okay, very cool. The person, the right person for this job, are they, I guess, what have they been up to for the past couple of years? Like, kind of what would have prepared them well for this role?
Yeah, I think we don't necessarily need somebody who is currently doing exactly this role, but we need somebody who's done content marketing and seen content marketing at a B2B SaaS company before. So somebody who understands, again, that connection that I've been talking about. So some of the folks maybe who I've evaluated so far who weren't a good fit were just folks that were doing content in a way, or content writers, but in a completely different category or industry, that just didn't understand how it wasn't just about organic traffic. It's about, how do we tie that to pipeline? How do we show the impact? How does that part of the greater strategy? I think that's really important. I think other things that are important are folks that have worked with vendors before, and they wouldn't have to have necessarily managed the vendors, but understand how that all works, because it is a lot of project management in terms of, hey, you're going to have to talk to this writer, then talk to our designer, then talk to our product marketing person. So really that cross-functional leadership and just experience is important for somebody who maybe was just off on their own writing over the last couple of years. I really like to see somebody who has that experience on their resume and can talk to that, right?
Yeah.
Talk to that cross-functional, how I took something and carved out the strategy of why we're doing it, and built out the brief, or built out the paper, built out what that asset was based on that high level information, and how they worked with different functions to really figure all that out.
Got it. That's awesome. And it sounds like a really cool role. Is there anything that I should have asked you, either about the role specifically or about Kibo more broadly, that we should mention?
No, I think the only other thing maybe I think about when it comes to Kibo, because folks haven't really probably heard that name, is I'm sure everybody understands how the commerce space in general right now is just completely blowing up. So I think like it's an exciting time to be at this company because we're experiencing some pretty high growth, but we're not, I want to be clear, we're not Series A, we're not some small company, we're a 300-person company. We're not huge though. So it's an interesting, personally, I like it kind of size, meaning, again, the CEO will, for better or for worse, know who you are.
Yeah.
We'll see the impact that you're making, but at the same point, you're not, dealing with the strapped resources. You're not dealing with trying to figure out stuff. But we're still dealing with all the challenges that come with trying to win in this space, right? We're pivoting in one product. We're trying to get better in another product. So content, we see that as kind of the center of it. So it's an exciting time.
Cool. I love it. Really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Very helpful to the folks who are in our Slack community and check out our job board to see a face, hear a voice, get that context that job listings just don't really tend to provide. So really appreciate that. We'll be sharing this out through all of our various channels and hope to send some good folks your way here.
Yeah, awesome. Feel free to Slack me in the Slack channel too if you have any questions. I'm not, precious about that. So love to talk to anyone.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, Andrew. Take care.
Cool.